Hi, everyone, and welcome to Love Remembers. Today, we're going to cut through all the noise and get straight to the truth about what's really happening in Ukraine, Russia, and the so called American led peace talks. Because, folks, let's be honest, what we're seeing right now is not diplomacy, it's called desperation. And if you think any of this is about peace, you haven't been paying any attention. Let's start with Vladimir Zelensky. Just days ago, he made a very bold statement saying that peace will only come when Vladimir Putin is dead. Now, whether you agree with him or no, let's be real. This is not the language of negotiations. This is a man who knows that sitting down at a table right now doesn't mean ending the war, it means surrender. Because what's actually happening behind the scenes, America and its allies are pushing Ukraine into a position where they have to accept a one sided mineral deal, one that benefits the West far more than it benefits Ukraine. That's right. The same countries that spent years talking about defending Ukraine's sovereignty are now carving it up resources. It's like it's a buffet table. This isn't about peace. It's about resources like about lithium, titanium, rare earth metals. The deal on the table forces Ukraine to hand over control of these resources in exchange for a continued military and financial support. Meanwhile, Russia is not slowing down. Putin sees the cracks forming. He knows the West's patience, and more importantly, its money is running out. So, what's his move? Wait it out. Let Ukraine get squeezed from both sides, military by Russia, economically by their so called allies. And here's the worst part, this isn't just about Ukraine. This is about a broader shift in how wars are being fought. The battlefield isn't just about soldiers and tanks anymore. It's about economic leverage, resource control, and the media manipulation. And guess what? The people suffering the most are the ones with no seat at the table. The Ukrainian people, they're used as bargaining chips. Russian citizens fed a nonstop propaganda diet just to justify their endless conflict. And the American people, well, we're just sold another geopolitical chess game where the winners are the ones making money off the war. So let's call it for what it is. If the US really wanted peace, we wouldn't be negotiating over minerals. We would be forcing Russia to the table with real consequences. If the West truly cared about Ukraine's future, we wouldn't be trying to mortgage our way into backroom deals. And if this was really about democracy and sovereignty, Zelensky wouldn't have to say that peace is only possible when Putin is dead. Because real peace wouldn't depend on one man's fate. But that's not what's happening, folks. What's happening is what always happens. The powerful are making decisions behind closed doors, and the people paying the price are the ones with nothing to say in the matter. Folks, I know the past several days have been crazy here. We haven't been hearing too much about Ukraine. Ukraine's not in the media because, we've been hearing a lot of crazier stuff that has to do with our top leaders in our, defense and loyalists to Donald Trump having a bro signal chat where they were discussing, war plans, attack plans, tomato, it's however you want to call it. They're playing word game, but basically, they ended up getting a reporter on this chat that ended basically reporting on it, what reporters do. So for the past 3 days, the media, you hear zero about Ukraine. So this is why today it's important. We're gonna bring in our guest, Alex. He's a regular here, Alex Bolbir from the Voice of Ukraine. Alex, welcome to the show. I know you have a lot to share with us. Let's just jump right into it. I mean, why don't you give the audience a little update on what's going on with your, on the ground in Ukraine, what your sources are telling you, Russia, and so on.
Thank you, Lev. Thank you for having me. In Ukraine, the mood is, if let me find the right word, they don't know what's going to happen next. But over 80% of Ukrainians are ready to fight to the last breath, and they know they've been played. People know they've been played. And if, let's say, 4 months ago, 3 months ago, everybody was in Ukraine was waiting for Trump to come in and to really fulfill his promise to end the war. And now, from what they see happening, I don't know who they hate more. Now,
Wow. Wow.
because Putin was the most hated guy, and now they don't even talk about Putin. They are talking about how Trump just flipped on them, how they losing this. They right now having problems because of what Trump is doing. They're not having problems because before his inauguration, Russia was belly up. They were belly up. They had no people to fight. They had so many problems. Now all of a sudden they got a voice that unfortunately our allies gave him that voice. Anyway, but that's overall. The pieces are like, for example, Lavrov said when they asked him during the negotiations in Saudi Arabia, what about the hold fire on infrastructures? You know what he said? He said, we didn't have specialists that could have discussed the infrastructure ceasefire. We were only talking about the sea. So they're saying, yeah, but what about the civilians and everything else? Well, we did not discuss that. Something totally the opposite. Second of all, ever since the negotiations started on the ceasefire, Russians been attacking like systematically over 100 drones every night. In the past 3 days, Odessa got hits like it never got hit before. Last night, Dnipropetrovsk and Kherson, over 20 buildings got hit. This is the first time since the war started. Never been like that.
And this is the crazy part. The media, we have zero reports on this. The mass media reports zero on this. Social media is not reporting. I mean, it doesn't exist. That's why I felt it was important to have the show today, because people don't understand that Russia's attacking Ukraine even worse and attacking civilian even worse than it was before the peace talks. So during these peace talks, I mean, it's getting worse. And so go ahead, continue. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Alex.
It's okay. That's the first of all. Second of all, on the same attacks, there are reports coming in that we are about to start attacking us from Kherson and Sumy region. They are forming the brigades to start another wave of attack in the spring. They were barely surviving. Now that they want to do an attack, because this peace talks give them time to prepare. Because right now, especially with this, when the ammunition was held and the information was held by U.S., that opened up a can of worms that's it's almost impossible to catch right now, because there were side effects from that.
And that's important for people to understand, because here in the United States, we see this as a one day, like a news article. Trump, withholds, Trump administration withholds information and withholds aid to Ukraine. 2 days later, they release it and back on. So everybody here thinks, oh, it's like the water. You turn it off, you turn it on, no big deal. Everything's back to normal. They don't, people don't understand the actual side effects of what happened because of those few days. I mean, let alone a few hours, but few days that the Ukrainians had zero information from the United States, stopped all ammunition, arms for the United States. I mean, basically like at a standstill at where they were. That's even why they lost the Kursk region, right? I mean, that was one of the reasons they got that. That's how they lost the Kursk region.
Not only that, in the past year, Russians could not lift a reconnaissance plane in the air to see our targets because it would shoot them down. When the Trump suspended the reconnaissance information, the information about the satellites, that was the only time they picked up the reconnaissance plane. They were strategically attacking us all over the place because Ukraine was blind. So it's anyway. That's Ukraine side. Now on the Russian side, based on the back channels and information that I have, Russia has, first of all, he has trouble with the flights. They have no parts because of the sanctions, and the planes almost going to stop flying soon, or dropping out of the sky like stones, because there is nobody to service them, and there are no parts to fix them. Second of all, they are about to start bond investment for the people, so people would invest in the country to bring the money to the banks. because they're running out of money. So they're putting together scams to get some money from the people. Third of all, they already up the amount, like over 50,000 to get people to come to army, and nobody wants to come anymore because they understand that if they go, they're not coming back.
People are starting to see people not come back
Oh,
home. People come
big
back
time.
in body bags or, with body parts, limbs missing. And so now nobody's running to grab that 50,000 rubles or whatever it is
No,
to.
not anymore. It's like there is a town in Russia that has, I believe, 150,000 people live in it. Over 10% are in the cemetery.
Wow.
And another 10% are wounded. And this is like visual. People see that.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's really changing. Plus, also, as far as the sanction goes, like right now, Russia's trying to lower the sanctions, but the sanctions, it won't work unless everybody do it. So Europe has to do it. And today Europe said that the only way the sanctions are dropped if Russia takes its troop out of Ukraine.
I mean, listen, I gotta just jump in right this second because when you said Europe, what triggered me was, today there is some I wouldn't say breaking news, but news because the president either truthed it or posted whatever you say. He basically threatened Europe and Canada today, saying that if Europe and Canada decide to somehow join together in trying to retaliate to the United States on this tariff war that he has initiated, that he is going to blow the tariffs through the roof. They're like the likes they've never seen before, and blah, 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 blah. So it's interesting to watch how, basically, I mean, Europe is put into a position right now. They have no choice. I mean, Europe, Canada, they're all going to align together with Ukraine because they all obviously understand that. I mean, I don't understand where people say the art of the deal. This is negotiation. I'm sorry. I've been in business for 53 years. I don't understand what part of negotiation is if you basically tell all your allies, all your friends, everybody that, to go screw themselves, tell them that you're going to abuse them, make peace and start praying nice and nice with all these dictators, and then I mean I don't know where the negotiation comes in and how he sees that Europe is going. I mean, it's just bully tactics, and I just wanted to put that in there because he just put that out there today that now he's threatening Europe, not only about what's going on with the Ukraine, but also now what's going on with the tariffs. So go ahead, Alex.
But before I switch to the next subject, as far as the Europe is not getting together. Europe being got together. Europe, that even if tomorrow everything changes and everything goes back to normal, Europe is not going to go back to normal because once you threaten once, I mean, this is the conscience has been around for centuries, so there is no way they're going to give it a second chance.
It's so embarrassing. I just off the subject because just to think about it, today in the morning, I put on the news and I'm watching how Greenland, a country that's literally, is not only is that our friend, it's basically like, part of us. I mean, it's Greenland. It's, we have our base there. It's Greenland. And today they're basically saying, no, don't come here. Don't come visit us. They told the vice president of the United States and his family and his wife, don't call us, we'll call you. I mean, are you kidding me? Like, where are we now? We have, I'm speaking to Canadian friends that these people, like, they're literally talking about picking up arms. I'm like, come on, you don't think like they're like, yo, let me tell you, Canada is so upset and so pissed off. Like, people want to fight. People want to go like to war over this. This is crazy. It's insane. And it's only been 60 days into his administration. Anyway, go ahead, Alex.
I tell you more. Talking about the allies, the American administration asked because in America there's a deficit with eggs, so there's about 4 or 5 different European countries for eggs. They got denied by every one of them.
That's insane. Just think about it. Eggs. Think about it. It's. I mean,
Nobody gave him eggs.
it's just so ludicrous to think about to the extent how quickly. Just think about how long it took for all of these relationships to be built, people. I want every one of you just to stop for 1 second and think about, you got to go back to the World War II. We're talking about
Yeah.
almost 80 years. 80 years, these relationships have been established and built to a point where we've had peace for 80 years. Yes, we've had wars in the Middle East, we've had wars, North Korea, but no world wars. We had peace for the past, 80 years as World War contained. The Cold War ended. The Soviet Union is no longer, it's Russia now. China's playing ball. And now, in a matter of 60 days, we've just ended all of that. We've destroyed all of that. Where, like you said, when you open the can of butterflies, you can't go, get all the butterflies back in. The relationships changed. And now we're talking about invading, our neighbors, our best friends, the Canadians, Greenland. I mean, it's ludicrous. It really is. Go ahead, Alex. I'm sorry. I'm just it gets to me a little bit when
No,
when we think about where we're at in the world, because I sit there and I have 7 kids, and some of them are already adults, and it's different. But the younger ones, they go to school, they come back, they talk to me, and they ask me on certain things, and it's crazy because you don't know what to explain, because we don't know where we're going with this, because where is the resistance going to be? We speak to a lot of different people, and we talk about how this is the way you stop, and this way you stop. Let me tell you, what they did on the Signal chat and the way it's being handled right now, it shows you pretty much the way we're going. So we're going to see where it happens. So I don't want to go off track more. Let's get back into Ukraine. Let's get back to Vladimir Zelensky, because I mean, Alex, I just want to say one thing. The past couple of days, and I think today also, our viewers probably don't get to see it. They don't know, but Vladimir Zelensky has been on a tirade. He's been out there basically, not giving a shit about about what's going on and speaking up like he's never spoken up before. I mean,
Yes.
starting off by saying that Vladimir Putin's going to die soon, that he's older than him. I mean, tell me about this. What's going
That's
on? Like,
right, because
what's happening with Vladimir Zelensky?
he actually said, here's a quote. He says, Trump should take more interest in me. I'm a lot younger. So I have a lot more to bring to the table. I mean, that was it. And this thing with the Ukraine just got a new paperwork about the mineral deals. Now, they changed everything. First of all, no guarantees, no support. They said that it's for all the minerals in Ukraine, not just some, all of them. And they're going to set up a board which will have 3 Americans, 2 Ukrainians, and America can veto any decision Ukraine has, and Ukraine can never get out of it unless America says so. So I don't think this deal will ever be signed, because Zelensky said yesterday, says, I'm looking forward coming back and reading the proposal, because then once we figure out what it is, then we're going to give it to Parliament and let Parliament look at it and see if they're going to pass it. so this is a long way from being done. And I tell you another thing: the Ukrainians are with the drones, they're responding, but they're not responding on civilians. They're responding on the oil refineries, airports, missile, drones. They're hitting the military targets. But I mean, can you imagine in a city in the middle of the night, 20 buildings got hit in Dnipropetrovsk. 20 buildings got hit on fire. In Kherson, for an hour and a half, it was nonstop bombardment. With the bombs, they're not guided. They just drop them, whatever it falls, it falls.
And this is what they call peace talk. Incredible. And by the way, folks, if you have some questions, we're going to take some questions today also as a little addition to the show. We're going to add it to the show. So just, type it in there. We have somebody vet them, go through them, and then I'm going to take a couple of the questions in the message queue today. So put them up there. Go ahead, Alex.
So this is but like I said, Ukraine is happy that the Europe is in, and I believe Zelensky in France, he got another 2 billion for the weapons. And Ukraine is already almost 50% self-dependent on the weapons. So they make their own weapons, their own rockets, their own shaheds. The kids are in school in Ukraine right now. There is a course. I believe after 8th grade, they have a course that every kid is taking courses how to fly a drone. So
Wow.
it's almost a stipulation. Just like in China, the karate is a stipulation. Everybody must know martial arts. This is in Ukraine drones. And when you say China and the enemies, I think this is the biggest present for China altogether. China's just sitting. I saw some reports yesterday that Europe and China are with open arms welcoming everybody they got laid off in America. All the workers that they got laid off by Deutsche, they're right now welcoming them. Well, come back to us. We'll give you salaries. We'll give you place to live. It's ludicrous, I think.
I mean, I think it's only going to get worse from here because between me and you, some of the things that we've seen with these signal chats and messages, and some of my sources behind the scenes are telling me in Trump world, I think we're going to be attacking Iran very soon. I think we are going to be going to war with Iran very, very soon, and it's going to be interesting how this plays out. And even Trump today came out and said something, or yesterday was it? He said about Vladimir Putin. He goes, he's dragging his feet. I've done that myself. So he's treating it strictly like a business deal when it comes to Vladimir Putin. It's so weird to watch how him and Vladimir Putin are basically having a business deal when it has to do with Ukraine. But when it comes to Ukraine, both Vladimir Putin is attacking them through actual missiles, and Trump is attacking him through words and threats. That's weird. I can't believe we're in that state of our world today.
Well, he kind of he bailed him out because Russia had no voice. Russia had no say so in this war. Now they got power again. So it's a flip. It's a flip.
Alex, do you have any more information about Dnepropetrovsk? We have, a viewer here that's watching from there, and they're asking if there's any more information you have, besides the 20 bombs that were dropped. I don't think they're not there now, but they have family there, I guess, or something.
Well, it's not 20. 20 buildings got hit. It's not
20 buildings.
20 buildings got hit. And there were a lot of fires, but it's already put out as of I have to check the latest, but the last I heard it was over a dozen hurt. So there was and Kherson got hit also. Dnipropetrovsk and Kherson got hit. I have some.
Yeah, go ahead.
What I'm gonna start. What we're gonna start doing maybe next show. I'm gonna prepare some pictures of this so you can post them out and people can see.
Great. Please get us some videos, some pictures, get us some stuff that the media is not showing, so this way the viewers could get an idea of what's actually happening there. Because like I said, right now the atmosphere in America, if you speak to people, they think that, there's peace talks going on. Nobody really has a sense of that there's really, a war going on and things like that are happening. And it's important to keep the message, and it's important to keep it on, so this way people know exactly what's happening.
Well, I'm going to show you a little something just real quick. This is Sumy. This is a city where people live.
We don't see anything else.
Oh, you don't?
No.
All right. Well, I'm going to prepare the next time some real footage that you can show during the show. All right. Because it's devastating what they're doing.
Alex, I appreciate you for coming today. I appreciate you putting your basically life on the line, because I know it's not easy for you to get some of the information you're getting straight from over there. So thank you for everything that you do. And Slava Ukraini, and we'll be bringing it up and bringing it up here nonstop. Before we go, let's see if we have one more question. Well, let's see. Hold on a second. Alex, is it true that in Russia every kid in school needs to learn English?
No, not every kid in school. It's they used to be German, now they switched to English, but it's not a mandatory.
What do you mean German switch to English?
Well, during the Soviet Union, German was a mandatory language.
So that you had to learn German
Yeah,
in
you had to
school.
learn. You had to learn German. Now it got switched to English, but it's not as many. It's not as many. But it's a first prioritized language. Just like in America, Spanish is a second language. This is almost like that.
I got you. All right,
By
Alex.
the way, by
Yeah.
the way, I'm sorry, before I go, but starting next week, we'll be able to show some real footage from Ukraine. I'm getting some permission to show some buildings that got hit, so people can really see for themselves all the damage that Russia is doing to Ukraine.
Awesome. We look
Thank you
forward
for
to it.
having
And,
me.
and also, we're going to get some really, interesting guests on. We're not going to mention their names or anything out yet, but we will. All right. Anyway, Alex, thank you so much. Thank you for coming. Stay safe, and we'll speak to you soon.
Thank you. Glory to Ukraine.
Geroim Slava. Well, folks, there you have it. I mean, besides all the craziness going on here, you're now starting to see what's happening back, in the Russia, Ukraine. Really, no peace. The war's going on even heavier and heavier. Russia's taking advantage of our administration, while our administration is, like bumbling fools, trying to have chats on Signal. Let me take a look. I think that's it for the quiz. Yep. All right. Well, that's it for today, folks. On Love Remembers, I want to thank every single one of you for tuning in, for thinking critically, and for refusing to just accept the narrative being fed to us. These conversations matter, and I couldn't do this without your support. If you believe in what we're doing here, if you want to keep these discussions going, make sure to hit that subscribe button on YouTube and head over to my Substack. That's where I'll be sharing even more in-depth analysis, exclusive content, and most importantly, I'll be hosting a Q&A sessions exclusively for my subscribers, where you'll get to ask all the questions and I'll try to give you all the answers behind the scenes. So if you have any questions, if you want to dig deeper, if you want to be part of the conversation beyond just watching, go to my Substack, subscribe, and let's make it happen. Because remembering isn't enough. We have to keep exposing the truth. Till next time, have a great day.